So let me ask you, you're watching WWE, are you watching AEW?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
watching.
So I was in the hospital for a month, okay?
Yeah, way to
And
scare the out of me, by the way.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm glad I'm even alive. But anyways,
Yeah.
I came out the hospital after being there a month, and bro, like nothing changed. It looks like a super indie. The production looks cheap. The set looks cheap. A lot of things don't make sense. Like, are you what do you enjoy from AEW?
I do like to see MVP
I
and
love that.
Shelton and Bobby
I
in
love
there.
that, bro.
I
They
think that's
look,
gonna.
bro. Tell me if they don't look more menacing than Moxley's group.
Oh my God, dude! First of all, Shelton looks like a machine.
Right.
Yeah.
How
Like,
about Lashley and
dude.
MVP? And they're all suited up and they're all articulate, And the other day, Disco showed me this thing where some girl was kind of race baiting, and she was like, "Yeah, how does it feel to be a black champion?" He was like, "F- that. How does it be a champion?" You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that it. I think a lot of people felt like the question was disingenuous. You know, it's a wild time as a black man. Black first is always the mindset, but you do want to get to a point where the conversation is out the window. But I mean, when you can still count how many world champions there have been on both hands, like
Right.
it's going to be brought up. So I got mixed feelings about it, but people felt like it was disingenuous, and I can completely understand that. But I think what they're doing over there is great. It's going to add,
Yeah.
fresh storytelling into the
Them,
mix.
them,
Obviously,
them and Darby
I'm a
Allen are my
swerve
favorite.
guy.
Them and Darby Allen are my
Yeah,
favorite acts.
O'Shea, can I ask you, because we get a
yeah.
lot
I
of,
think.
go ahead.
Say
Good.
it again. No, no, no. Go ahead.
Well, we get a lot of emails. We do a mailbag each week. We get a lot of emails from listeners that accuse all of us on the show of not being critical enough of Jericho and his angles and stuff like that. What have you thought of Chris doing the Ring of Honor thing and the learning tree? Has that been entertaining to you, or are you kind of like over his stuff recently?
I mean, with Jericho, he's become such a polarizing kind of figure over there, whether, it'd be in the ring or out the ring. There was for a while there was a talk of a Jericho curse. Like once you do something with Jericho, you're not going to be seen on TV anymore. But it's yeah, it's there's always going to be ups and downs. I've seen fans turn on stars all the time. Maybe it's time to step back a little bit, let them miss you because they know what they want when they get Jericho. They know that he was one of the first reasons why people tuned in to AEW when he made the surprise appearance. He's their first champion ever.
Yeah.
So like he's a major part of that programming and people will get over it. It is what
Well,
it is. I think the Moxley, the Death Riders thing, I think there's been a couple of missed opportunities with that. Like they just had all right, so WWE always gets for like their celebrity work or whatever, or working with influencers, and they just had Big Boom AJ and Big Justice, which as far as commercializing, it's gonna get you views. People are going to watch, like whether you hate them or you love them, they're going to watch because of these guys and we got him on the pre-show. Boy, I would have made every single one of those views pay $60. And then you got like this evil empire building with the Death Riders. Boy, I would have had them jump Big Boom AJ in the ring in front of his son and get booed out the building.
Well, we
You
had a
had them put a bag over one of the best wrestlers to touch Earth, but then like their whole thing is they hate what AEW's become, but then they let that slide. It doesn't fit. Like
hmm.
it doesn't make sense. You beat up Brian Danielson, but you let these influencers come in and go out unscathed and get a victory on somebody from the roster.
Dude, that makes a lot of
Like
sense.
character wise,
Do you
it
watch
doesn't
all?
make sense.
O'Shea, do you watch all their shows? Do you watch Rampage, Collision, and Dynamite? Just Dynamite.
Disco, please. I only have time for Dynamite.
Exactly. Well, me too.
so
That's because me and Conan said, and you probably feel the same thing, is that we've been habitual watchers of that show for 5 years. Okay,
Mhm.
Dynamite. I've watched every Dynamite for 5 years now, right? And because they don't recap things from the other shows, there's still stuff that happens on the show. I have no clue what's going on. And like you shouldn't, you shouldn't have to like watch all the other content to figure out what's going on Dynamite. Which is kind of like their attitude of like when they book for the sickos is like everybody that watches all their shows, their hardcore fans were booking for them. It's like, dude,
Or they'll bring in Mexicans and Japanese guys, and you have no clue who they are. Like, who would know who Ishii is? He looks like some old pudgy guy that why they even yeah. When he was young, he was a badass. But they don't explain stuff like that. But I wanted to get back when you brought up the Death Riders. So the Death Riders look to me as very, very unintimidating. It isn't like looking at the Bloodline. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like they look like they could rip you up. And so you've got Wheeler Yuta, that if he didn't have a beard, he looked like he was 12 years old. Claudio Castagnelli, great wrestler, great person, but he does not look intimidating. Some girl who's like 5'4", I know she was in MMA or whatever, but it wasn't like she had a big name because I never heard of her, right? And then
Right.
the cheap man's Jason Statham, which is Moxley. That group does not look intimidating to me. The Hurt Syndicate looks more intimidating to me, and they're only three guys.
Yeah, you know, there's a certain presence about, I think, the Hurt Syndicate, and a lot of that is fueled by the gift of gab that MVP has. I think when you're in a situation like the Death Riders, like, yeah, you've got the thing that happened at the end of Wrestle Dream with Bryan Danielson. The internet was so all over them, but I was like, dude, this is the name of the game. They made you feel, they made you mad, they made you this this is like, they made you feel, and now you have to see where they go with it. And when Moxley pinned Danielson, you could hear a pin drop. It was such a blow to the audience, and that was your moment. That is when you establish, like, no, this is the villain. Like, these are the bad guys. Make these people hate them. And then the bag situation happened and all that. What I don't like is they have to have more actions to have moments like that, because the last couple of episodes, you have them getting chased off. Why are they getting chased off? They're the terrorists. Why are they getting chased and they're running away and hopping
Because
in the car
one
and
thing
driving off?
I'm sure you've noticed this in 5 years, AEW is not good at setting heat. The babyface always have to come out on top. 90% of the time. And to get a babyface over, you have to have heat, 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 heat. It's as simple as that. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like I feel, or do you disagree? Bro, I felt like Lashley and Swerve are touching way too early. Like they're hooking
Yeah,
up way too early. Yeah,
yeah. I feel like that was number one. It put things into such an awkward, like, they're already gonna go at it.
right.
Like,
They
Bobby,
rushed
at
it.
that point, I was like, there's no way Bobby loses. There's
Right.
no way in the world you bring him in to lose. And then Swerve, that's your, like, I mean, what you've shown contractually, that's your big guy.
Right.
That's your dude. So you having him get into this war with the Hurt Syndicate, they're just constantly Swerve, and so it's either he's gonna overcome them already and, like, defeat them, or you just got one of your top guys getting his by this crew over and over again. So yeah, I think it was a little soon. I think there's always that natural excitement because it's a big fight that everyone can feel. Just like Jade and Bianca. As soon as Jade got there, everybody's wheels were turning. Oh my God, her versus Bianca, her versus Bianca. If you did that at the gate, you're gonna fizzle out somebody's flame. Now you can make money if you spread that a little bit more. But I mean, it is what it is. That they're doing what they're gonna do.
So
It ain't my fault.
let me ask you real quick. What are your five favorite acts or wrestlers in AEW?
All right, I'm gonna get a lot of for this. I think Orange Cassidy is hilarious, bro.
Okay.
I just think the idea of, yeah, I'm good. Just I don't want to be like a wrestler who's
Yeah, he's
tired
like a
of wrestling.
slacker. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, and then like it takes you to like wake that out of him, and
Right.
then he turns into, you know, this athletic monster. Obviously, Swerve. I don't think MJF and Adam Cole need to keep beefing. I'm an
That's
MJF.
brutal.
I'm an MJF dude. You know, I think that
Me
guy.
too, but I'm not interested in this feud.
Yeah, I think it's done. I think
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's time to let's find something else. But I think a lot of it is, oh, and I like that Kyle Fletcher dude. I think he is on the up and up. I was a little iffy about the power driver on the steps, especially
Right.
because like we just saw like Randy Orton is still selling the power driver he
Right.
took.
I asked Disco, was
So
that because Disco told me about an was that the finish? And he goes, no. Come
yeah,
on, what do you got to do? Shoot the guy next?
yeah,
I mean,
like that should have brought the stretchers out, but
right,
you know, Osprey is there, Super Saiyan, and I do like Will Osprey. I do think that, you know, what he brings to them is right in their ballpark. You know, we talked last time about how AEW is kind of New Japan America. You know,
right,
whether it's just about what's happening in the ring, the oohs and everything else kind of comes secondary. But Osprey, the dude's got charisma. I believe him,
right.
and you know he delivers. But I'm really into Kyle Fletcher. I think he's a
That's a
good.
very weird pick, Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, I dig him. You know, and it was because of a match that he actually had with Osprey as his tag partner. The moves were crisp. You know, it looked like he gave his opponents like
He's
soft
definitely a
landings.
crisp, really good wrestler. Just he doesn't have much personality.
Hey, that's why you need to find him a Paul Heyman or something. Like
Right.
you need to find him a mouth to pair him with that will be the draw of all the heat.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.